Okay, picture this. A movie ends, the credits start rolling, and the audience, well, they don't just clap. They get to their feet, and they stay there. Not for a minute, not 5 minutes, but for 13 straight minutes. Just this huge, roaring wave of appreciation. So intense, apparently, it brought some major stars to tears. What kind of film does that? What story hits that hard? Welcome to The Deep Dive. We cut through the noise to get you the insights that matter. And today, we are plunging into something that really shook up the recent Venice Film Festival. We're talking about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, his much anticipated Gothic drama.
Yeah, those reports you shared about the premiere were just captivating. Really something else. And our mission today is, to get past just the headlines, the buzz. We want to really unpack what's going on here, the themes, the director's specific vision, why this adaptation is already feeling so different. We'll dig into why it got that historic reception, and maybe more importantly, what Del Toro himself says is really at the core of it.
Exactly. This isn't just gossip about a premiere. It feels like, well, like a moment. Something significant happened there. So let's unpack it. This huge moment and what it might mean for a story. Honestly, we all thought we knew inside out. And the thing that really grabs you is the number, isn't it? 13 minutes. At the 82nd Venice International Film Festival, Frankenstein didn't just get an ovation. It got the longest one of the whole festival this year. 13 full minutes. Try to imagine that kind of sustained energy. It's not just polite applause, is it? It's connection. Deep appreciation.
It really suggests something resonated on a profound level, not just a well-made movie, but an experience.
And the reports about the cast afterwards.
Wow.
It wasn't just the audience feeling it. Apparently the cast was pretty overwhelmed. Jacob Elordi, who plays the creation, and Oscar Isaac, who's Victor Frankenstein, they were seen hugging, a kiss on the cheek, Elordi resting his head on Isaac's, real emotion. And Del Toro himself beaming, waving, hugging his stars. It's just such a striking image, isn't it?
It really is. And that kind of raw public display of emotion from the team behind the film, well, you don't see that very often at these big premieres. You see joy, sure, relief maybe, but tears, that kind of intimacy, it makes you stop and think. It raises a big question. What is it about this version of Mary Shelley's classic that hits so hard? It suggests, a depth that goes beyond just good filmmaking. It must have forged some kind of deep, visceral connection with that first audience.
Okay, so if it's that powerful, what does that tell us about the film itself? I mean, we know the basics, right? It's a Gothic drama based on Mary Shelley's novel from way back in the 19th century. The official description, for anyone needing a quick refresher, talks about a brilliant but egotistical scientist who brings a creature to life in a monstrous experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creator and his tragic creation.
That familiar setup, yes. But even in that synopsis, the word undoing feels key, especially knowing Del Toro. It hints at exploring the flaws, the consequences.
And look at the cast he's assembled to explore that. Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein, the scientist. Jacob Elordi taking on the creature. That's fascinating casting right there. But then you've also got Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, Charles Dance. I mean, what a lineup.
Absolutely. Felix Kammerer, Lars Mikkelsen, David Bradley, Christian Convery. It's a seriously heavyweight ensemble. That signals the kind of dramatic depth he's aiming for, doesn't it? Performances that can really carry complex themes.
Definitely. Which brings us to, well, what are those themes, according to Del Toro himself? Because this is where it gets really interesting based on the press conference reports.
Right. This is crucial. He made a point very explicitly to say something. He said that while people might see it as a commentary on AI, given, everything happening now, it is absolutely not meant as a metaphor about artificial art or AI.
He actually drew that line himself.
Yeah.
It's quite direct.
Very direct. He seems to be actively steering people away from that easy, maybe obvious contemporary reading. He's saying, essentially, look deeper. Don't just map today's tech anxieties onto this.
Okay, but that's going to be tough, isn't it? I mean, the creator-creation thing of Frankenstein and the AI discussion being everywhere. Do you think audiences will be able to just ignore that parallel when they watch it?
That's a fair question. I think it will be a challenge for some viewers, yes. The parallel is strong, but here's the key thing. Del Toro didn't just say what it isn't. He also said very clearly what it is about. And this is where you feel the heart of his vision. He said, and I'm quoting here, "The movie tries to show imperfect characters and the right we have to remain imperfect, and the right we have to understand each other under the most oppressive circumstances."
Wow. The right to remain imperfect. That's powerful.
Isn't it? It completely reframes it. It pulls it away from being just a cautionary tale about science or tech.
Yeah.
It becomes about empathy, about our own flaws, our struggles to connect, to understand people who are different, or who society deems well, monstrous or flawed, it suggests the real horror might be in our judgment, our lack of acceptance, rather than the creation itself.
That makes so much sense in light of the reaction, doesn't it? That theme, the right to remain imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that specific idea would hit so hard right now? Enough for that 13-minute ovation, the tears. It feels incredibly relevant, you know? In this age of social media filters, curated perfection, this almost feels like permission to be human.
I think you've hit it exactly. It feels timely because we are living in a time that seems to demand perfection, or at least the appearance of it. So this focus on imperfection, on understanding despite flaws, it resonates deeply. And it really transforms how we might look at the Frankenstein story itself, right? Instead of just scientist plays God, creates monster, it pushes us to ask harder questions. Who is truly monstrous here? The creation struggling to exist? Or the creator and perhaps the society that rejects him based on appearance or difference?
Yeah, it shifts the whole focus inward, doesn't it? Less about external monsters, more about our internal struggles.
Precisely. It becomes less about a specific technology like AI and more about enduring human conditions. Self-acceptance, the difficulty of empathy, the fear of the other. These are timeless. Del Toro seems to be using this classic framework to talk about our own messy, flawed, beautiful, difficult humanity. And maybe that's why it moved people so much. It felt true.
Okay, I'm definitely sold. I need to see this.
Oh.
So for everyone listening who feels the same, Frankenstein is getting a limited theatrical release starting October 17th. And then, not long after, it lands on Netflix on November 7th. So mark your calendars. You won't have to wait too long.
Good to know. It sounds like one to catch, whether in theaters or at home.
So just to wrap up our deep dive today, we look at Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein making this huge splash at Venice, that incredible 13-minute standing ovation, the emotional reaction from the cast like Elordi and Isaac. We touched on the amazing ensemble cast he's got. And crucially, we unpacked del Toro's own words about the film's core message. It's not about AI, he says. It's about embracing imperfection, about our right to be flawed and the struggle to understand each other.
And that leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? If we take Del Toro's emphasis seriously, this right to remain imperfect, what does that actually mean for us day to day? How do we embrace our own flaws and seek that understanding in others, especially when the world pushes so hard for perfection? And how might Mary Shelley's story, seen through this specific empathetic lens, how might it still challenge us today? Challenge our ideas of what's human, what's monstrous, maybe in ways we haven't even considered before.
Definitely something to chew on. Keep those thoughts with you as you wait for the film. We really hope this deep dive gave you a richer context for what looks like a truly groundbreaking adaptation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.